Welcome to the journey. I am Reverend Bobby, and today I have my good friend Myron Johnson with me, Morehouse Brothers, Secret Society Brothers, and just good friends for 50 plus years. How are you doing today, Myron?
I'm doing wonderful today. Glad
Doing,
it's Friday,
hey,
end of the
listen,
week, and waiting for October.
that's right. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And while Myron and I are doing good, don't forget to log on to the channel, Gospel of Robert. Capital GOSPELOF, capital ROBERT. Put the at sign in the front. Make sure to subscribe so you get notifications when we put up good stuff. And you can click on the live category when you go over to the channel and catch some of the previously recorded journey segments. So, Myron, I'm happy to see your beautiful face. Tell us a little bit about Myron. What are you up to?
Right now, enjoying retirement. Just trying to take care of some things here and there. I know yesterday morning I was flushing the toilet and my toilet handle broke. So I
Oh,
had to go out to Home Depot and get a new handle.
it's always something. Where did you retire from, Myron?
I retired from Morehouse School of Medicine and Emory School of Medicine, working in geriatrics at Morehouse School of Medicine, and then it was community health uh, at Emory.
I bet you saw a lot of stuff with the community health office over at Emory, didn't you?
I saw a whole lot of stuff. It was
What, what,
very interesting.
what would you say is some of the biggest health problems our people have, however you want to frame it? What do you see as
I
some of the
think
biggest?
most of the problem people having are probably drugs or just mental issues. A lot of mental issues going on. And then some people and then even for health reasons, some people just don't want to go to the doctor, especially men.
I know black men have a real thing about going to the doctor. I guess that comes from Tuskegee experiments and things like that. But
And then,
but a
that's
lot
so
of
true.
yeah. But a lot of black men are in not real healthy situations. What are some of the things you could recommend for them to do to try to stay healthy? Because without our health, we don't have nothing.
Well, main thing is watching your diet. The other thing is exercise. Even when I go to the mall, I might park a long way away so I can walk
Mm-hmm.
to the mall, just to keep the blood circulating in
Mm-hmm.
my system.
Mm-hmm.
So the main thing I think is a diet.
The diet.
Yeah, because I know for myself, I only eat fish and chicken, you know,
Mm-hmm.
things that fly or swim. Whereas other people, uh, and then I always eat vegetables in my diet. And then even my grandmother said, always have something of color on your plate when you're eating dinner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The vegetables, the fruit. I remember one time I
Yeah.
was away and hadn't had no fruit. Got a goiter on my neck, and I was
Mm.
just thinking, what had been missing from my diet, and it was fresh fruit. So when I added fresh fruit back, without medical help at this time, the goiter went away, and
Right.
it's really important for us. And what would you say to the black men out here, or just men, period, about going to the doctors and stuff?
Well, I know I do an annual checkup once a year.
Mhm.
And that's way they can check my blood, check my urine, and make sure everything is in line with the normal health. And then even if I get sick, I'll go call the doctor. And if I come down with a cold, and I know yesterday I was stopped by. I'm with Kaiser Permanente. I
Mhm.
know yesterday I stopped by Kaiser to get my flu shot for this year. And when I got my flu shot, they asked me, you haven't had a COVID shot in the last 2 years. So I told him, go ahead and give me the COVID shot.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me 2 shots just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good to be on the safe side because once these things, grab on to you, you're pretty in bad shape. So now that you're nice and healthy and all, what kind of activities do you participate in on a day to day,
Okay.
week to week basis? I know you don't just like.
Usually I play tennis about 2 or 3 times a week. And then another friend, she turned me on to pickleball. So I've done that.
My
And
son is
that's
getting into
interesting.
pickleball. Yeah, he moved up to what is it, Kennesaw,
Okay.
right outside the Marietta. And
Right.
he's trying to pick up pickleball because he was in the industry. Right now he's flying back and forth working, still in California until he makes some uh, connections there. But he's pretty
Okay.
good. Did the movie, I'll do all that stuff. But tell me about pickleball? I'm not familiar with it.
Well, it's definitely different. I noticed I was talking to another friend and said there's been a lot of injuries from pickleball, but it's almost like tennis. It's almost like table tennis
Mm-hmm.
or badminton,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. But it's interesting. It's an adjustment because you got to bend down low and the ball doesn't bounce like a tennis ball, and it's an adjustment for me. But I'm learning it.
Is it a outdoor court or indoor court like racquetball
Um,
used to be?
Actually, I played indoor, and you got to have a net.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have the line indoor. You got to have the lines lined out because they have a thing called the kitchen,
Okay.
which is right there at the beginning on each side.
That's
And
where
just
you be cooking, huh?
right, but it's different. It's interesting. I've only played like 3 times,
Uh-huh.
so I have some friends. I wait for them to call me to say when we go back. But then here in Atlanta, across the street from the Y, they had some tennis courts. They converted them to 4 pickleball courts, which is interesting, So the lines are there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What now? When you first retired,
Hmm.
how big of an adjustment was that for you, not having to do stuff day to day and be like, oh, what am I gonna do with myself today? How did you manage your way through that?
That's interesting, but I usually still get up early in the morning, checking my emails. And then I always got all these bills to pay, it seems, and I've been working on them. But life is still the same. The only difference is it's not as much money coming in.
Yeah,
You have Social Security
yeah,
coming in. But you just making adjustments on that. And then usually when I go to the grocery store, I make sure I get healthy foods, like you mentioned, fruit, vegetables, and all. And then the other thing, just cutting down on drinking, you
yeah.
know, so trying to just stay healthy is the main thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I know a lot of people that I work with, counsel with, whatever, whatever. When they make that adjustment right at the beginning, it's like, you know,
Hmm.
what do I do? How do I adjust? And a few people have moved to different places and start
Right.
life in a different place. What made and you being from California, what was one of the things that put you into staying in Atlanta? Because you're from the Bay Area, right?
Well, actually, I'm from San Francisco. What brought me back to Atlanta was about 20 years ago. My father called me when I was in San Francisco and sent me a plane ticket. Said, "Son, I need you down here now, and your plane ticket is waiting for you at the airport."
Hmm.
I didn't believe it, but then I called the Delta Airlines, and the ticket was there.
Hmm.
So I flew down to Atlanta, and he wasn't staying at home. He had rented an apartment
Yeah.
downtown and said I had to be at the doctor's office at 12 noon. So we went and had breakfast and went to the doctor's office. And then I found out, uh, after talking to the doctor and everything, my father was coming down with Alzheimer's. And I really didn't know what Alzheimer's was
Yeah.
until I did some research,
Yeah.
you know, on that. And that was interesting because I received my job at Morehouse School of Medicine. Somebody told me to contact Dr. Mary Williams, which I did, and went and talked to her and told her about my father's situation and everything. And then I know I had gone to the health department in downtown Atlanta and talking about to a guy. We had called me in his office and said, I mentioned Alzheimer's. He said, didn't you cross the paper stand outside my door? It has news articles and information about Alzheimer's. So I was kind of mad with him to say, yeah, I passed by it, but he didn't even get up from his desk to say, you need to read this brochure or this
Right.
brochure
Right.
and everything. So anyway, in the long run, after talking to Dr. Mary Williams, she ended up hiring me to work in her department at Morehouse School of Medicine. So that was a great opportunity. And then working at Morehouse School of Medicine, I put a book together about Alzheimer's and the things I went through and agencies you can go to talk to people.
That's funny you said that because my sister is doing mommy with
Mm.
Alzheimer's now. And of course, being a Spelman woman, she gonna figure out some other stuff. So she wrote a book, again with agencies and help and stuff. And she goes to churches and speaks and stuff about Alzheimer's and being her stuff is more on the what it takes out of you being a caregiver because it's not a easy task. But now, did the book you put together, did you pen it or was it a collaboration?
It was a collaboration of things that I had put together on it. And actually, if you hold on a second, wait a minute.
I'll hold on a second. We got minutes to go.
So actually, the book was, I don't know if you can read that, but it says, Resource Guide for Caregivers of Patients with Alzheimer's Disease. So anyway, that's the book I put together at Morehouse School of Medicine. My boss, she went through it. And it had different chapters in it. So it's really interesting. It broke down what Alzheimer's disease was, facts. Then it mentioned about caregiving, which is really the main thing for a person. It's caregiving for the people who have Alzheimer's. And then I had helpful telephone numbers and agencies people can call. And then just like with my father, they had a food service thing that would come and deliver lunch and dinner every day. So that was a helpful thing. And then another thing, there were legal issues. I had to take everything out of my father's name and put it in my name so he had no resources in case he had to go to a place. And then the other thing I did, I was taking care of him, and a couple of things happened along the way. So I ended up putting him in I had hired a person to come take care of him during the daytime. And that was interesting, but the problem there was she would take care of him during the daytime, but he would sleep all day.
Yeah.
And then she would fix dinner. So when I come in, because she worked from like 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock. And then I had a problem afterwards because he would be up, wake me up all night.
Yeah.
That wasn't good because then that way I couldn't get my sleep.
Right.
And everything. So that didn't work out. So then after about a year, I placed him in an assisted living place. And that worked out because
that worked better.
Yeah, that worked better for me. And then I would go visit him. And then when he had a doctor's appointment, I'd go pick him up and take him to the doctor for his physical or any issues. Yeah. So that worked out pretty good. But everything is an expense thing. But at least he had enough money coming in to help take care of
And that's the thing.
them.
That's like the thing with mommy because she got her teacher stuff and you know daddy's stuff,
Right.
and you know it helps because Sherry's doing the same thing. She got a lady come in from noon to 6,
Okay.
so she could go run. Mommy usually don't get up to about 1 or so, but she sleeps the night now, and so it's a little bit easier to manage. And you know I go do my 2 cent when Sherry need me. In fact, she called just a minute ago. I saw her name pop up, but
Right.
you know, I'm gonna check back with her. But like you said, I think that the caretaking part is the part that is the piece that you really got to work out because you know, in
Cool.
mom's state now, she'll be 98 next month,
Yeah,
and
that's good.
she just can't do nothing for
Right.
herself anymore.
And then
And
since you mentioned that, I think your mother and my mother were classmates at Spelman.
they were. My mama know your daddy too.
Oh, okay, okay. I know another incident happened with my mother.
Mhm.
She was getting off the bus one day in San Francisco that she never drove and got off the bus and fell.
Yeah.
And then she broke her hip. So I know that they had called me from San Francisco saying your mother's in the hospital and she's going to have her hip replacement. And I didn't know that much about that. But anyway, she broke her hip. And then I knew she, uh, I was in Atlanta. So I had to find a place for her to stay. So I had to find a place in San Francisco. And she wanted to stay near the residents there. So I placed her in an assisted living place in San Francisco, but that was expensive. That was about $6,000 a month. But working out different angles and everything, because my parents were married twice and divorced twice to each other. And since they were married for 10 years, there were some benefits that my mother received from my father
Yeah.
uh, for being in the military, because he had already passed.
Hmm.
So that was some paperwork I did with the military, and they sent a check every month. And then my mother's retirement funds and her Social Security. So that was interesting to receive all that. So she lived for about 6 years,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know, and then just got to a point where she wasn't eating anymore,
Yeah.
her diet going downhill. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was interesting.
Yeah. Because she still had she still had her place out there too when she was in
Yeah,
the
I
state.
still have the place out there.
Hmm.
And actually, I'll be going out there in October, cleaning out some things. Because she has a whole lot of African artifacts,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
which is hard to get rid of, but I didn't want to throw everything away. So,
Yeah.
so
Send it to your place. Just stack them up in Atlanta.
I got 3 boxes here that I sent things here from
Uh,
San Francisco when I was out there in April. And they're still in the boxes,
they
because I
still
got
in the
too much stuff.
boxes.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff here that I don't need. There's no place to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got stuff already here. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. And then
You
nobody really, kids don't like African art stuff like
like we
mother did.
did.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a different generation.
and it's funny because one of my boys, he saw me on Facebook yesterday. He said, "Call your boy." So I
Hmm.
called him up. He was finna eat dinner, and he said, "I'll call you back." But in our conversation, we were talking about this very thing. You know, the artifacts, the black art that we're into, that the young people aren't into
Right.
as much, and we also talked about how we was growing up. Because he helps entrepreneurs and stuff get into business, and how everybody it was a black mecca here with businesses and starting the banks and all of those things, you know,
Right.
back in the late 60s, early 70s. Well, we don't see that stuff anymore. What happened, man?
I don't know. It's a different generation. They're not into those things. Because I know my son, he doesn't appreciate African art stuff, even though he grew up around it, but he
Yeah,
doesn't appreciate it at all.
yeah,
And it's a different generation nowadays. It's kind of
yeah.
sad, you know. You
Well,
know.
well, well, it's all the way different.
It is.
Because none of my kids be trying to talk to me on the phone. They'll text and all that stuff.
Yeah, the
Um,
same with myself and my son.
you know,
Because even him, he's doing very good because he speaks like 5 languages.
yeah.
It's interesting that he went to undergrad school in Paris, France,
Hmm.
and it was interesting there because he didn't know how to speak French, but he and his roommate only spoke French inside
Yeah.
their apartment,
Yeah.
and then they only spoke English outside their apartment. So if they didn't know the word, they looked it up in the dictionary,
Yeah.
learned that. Then the other thing, he went. The son came back. Then he went to law school in Hong Kong because he learned how to speak Mandarin.
Mandarin.
Yeah, so he he
That's a
he
tough
speaks it.
language.
Oh yeah, it's tough. He speaks it fluently.
Yeah.
So when he talked to some Chinese people, they're really amazed at how he can communicate back with them,
Mhm.
not trying to figure out what this question they ask him.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So he has a law degree from the University of Hong Kong, in from in, from China. And so
That's interesting because my son went to China some years ago and he was like
okay,
just captivated as they were captivated with him because he didn't speak fluently, but he had some
right,
command of the language and stuff when he went.
yeah,
And
that's
you
good.
know, he enjoyed the experience. And yeah, but the kids are different. They all doing good, but my daughter, she moved here with my granddaughter. I still see them about as much as I saw them when she was living in Vegas because
I
they be
heard that.
they be busy. And I guess we was busy and doing stuff, raising kids and stuff when we was younger, but it just seems so much different to me.
Yeah, I know. In my case, I moved away from my son here to Atlanta to take care of my father.
Right.
It actually, when he first got ill, I took him to San Francisco, but it wasn't working out.
Your
And
dad, you took to San Francisco?
yeah, I thought I'd keep him there in San Francisco, but he was calling his Morehouse friends in San
Yeah.
Francisco saying he wanted to come back to Atlanta and said I had kidnapped him. And so anyway, I ended up coming back to Atlanta to take care of him. And then even my ex-wife, that's the reason why we got divorced, because she didn't want to move back to Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
That's where we met here in Atlanta. She's from
Right.
Alabama,
Right.
so she loved the San Francisco living, so that was interesting, so
Life is interesting, man. The ups, the downs,
yeah,
round and round.
you never know what's going to happen the next day, so
You don't. But you try to do your best to live it fully. I tell people all the time in my reverently self, the Bible itself, it's a book that talks about generation, degeneration, and then regeneration on the back end. So it always comes back around. I just
right.
had so much fun being a degenerate. I, hung out there too a little a little long for most
I
people.
heard that.
But life is interesting. How do you like this stage of life you in? I was talking to Steve, and she said, "Bobby, we're the elders now." I
No,
said,
that's true. That's true. Sometimes people ask me how old I am, and I tell them, but they said, "No, you look like you're only 50 years old."
"Right,
And I said, "I wish I was, but I'm not."
right, right.
Just enjoying life while I'm living it now, and then even lately, we've had some friends that have passed, like Walter Williams, the
Right,
judge in Chattanooga.
right.
And he was a good brother.
Yeah,
So.
and TJ, man.
PJ, I went to his service, and then
Yeah,
I looked at Walker Williams'
yeah. I
services
looked at Walters too. Yeah,
on TV. I mean, on
internet.
they
Yeah,
streamed, but
yeah,
that was good.
yeah, yeah. Now that part, I remember when we was down for reunion last year, or whatever.
Right.
That part really got to me. All the brothers that were deceased now, as they read
Yeah,
the
some of
last.
them I didn't know about until they mentioned their names.
Yeah, I didn't need. I ain't neither, but that kind of stings me. You know, I did Victor and Hop services.
Mm.
You know, one of my
Yeah, I missed both of them
huh?
service. I missed both of those services.
You was out west. I
Yeah, yeah, I was in San Francisco.
Yeah, you was out west at both of them, and I did Victor's up here because he had something in Atlanta. But I did Victor's up here, and Hops I did over at Hillside on
Right.
Cascade. But it's a thing, man, because I did my best boy up here, you know, and that kind of stuff. But it's a thing. But
And actually, since you mentioned Hop, Hop was renting from me in a house, and he
right,
died in the house that I used to own.
right. Sylvia's old house.
Right, right. It was. It
Yeah,
was. I bought that from Sylvia.
yeah. I remember. And I miss her too. She was a trip.
She was. She
Sylvia
was.
was a trip,
And some things I didn't realize. Sylvia went to Tuskegee,
mhm.
and what happened there? She got pregnant,
Yeah,
and then moved back with her mother in Charleston, uh, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah,
And then when Sylvia died, well, when she died, I met her son, and I didn't even know she had a son
hmm
family, but he came for her funeral,
yeah.
so that
We
was
learn,
interesting.
we learn a lot
Yeah,
about people's families during the transition times that we don't necessarily know. And I like that's crazy. I like doing people transition services. That's one of the things I do and do
yeah.
well because you sit down, you talk to the family,
You find out some history about a person when you
you
talk
learn
to
the
the
history.
family.
And the one thing that I know, right now I call this the journey. I'm gonna switch it over to our story because our
Okay,
story, maybe next year sometime because I'm gonna continue doing it, and because I'm done with all the pulpit stuff and all, you know, um,
okay.
being Reverend Bobby for the teenagers and stuff that used to make me crazy because all they wanted to do was talk about sex and getting high.
I heard that.
you know, and all those things. But that part is done. But we have such a rich history, in
We
all
do.
of our families, man, in all of our families. The as we said in the '60s, the struggle is real and stuff, and we still in that arena.
Yeah,
We just have to stand up for ourselves and each other. We was coming out of the thing, when we was down there for reunion, and we had talked to two young guys. They was in DC. One worked for CNN. One was political something activist dude.
right.
And after we finished talking to them, me and Clinton walked out, and Clinton looked at me and said, "Bobby, nothing's changed." And it kind of hit me because I say that a lot too, but people with money and different opportunities, they think things have changed, but we still in the suit, man. And what we gonna do, JJ?
I don't know. That's a good question. Just like me, just enjoy life while you're living it. Because things do happen, but hey, we're still here.
Yeah, and
You
that
know,
and that's
hate to hear about people like Walter Williams or TJ
yeah,
will pass, because he was a nice guy, but he had an illness that was on him. He had cancer because
yeah,
he had
Cam,
told me about it,
yeah,
but I didn't expect him. I didn't know he had 2 or 3 months to live.
yeah. When we was there for homecoming the
Right.
year before, he had just got out. He had just got out of the hospital, and he rolled
Right.
on me, Sip, and Mini Brute, and then we was over there getting our packages. And it was great. It was the one thing that I shared with the boys, that I talked to them close to when TJ come up. It was wonderful that TJ made it to reunion because we couldn't have had no reunion without that rascal.
No, no, that's true. Yeah, he's a true Morehouse guy,
He was,
for
man.
sure. And even Walter Williams, because he would come down here for homecoming every year and even come to the other games here and there. And I didn't realize he had 2 daughters that finished Spelman.
Yeah, yeah.
And his wife went to Spelman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was interesting,
It's a rich Morehouse and Spelman history. Just everywhere I go, man, whether they was there 1 year, 2 years,
That's
5
true.
years, 7 years, Master Fred, man, he's younger than me. It took him 7, but he made his way through.
Got his degree. I call it cheap skin.
Yeah,
That's the degree.
yeah. So since we're at the end of our 30 minutes, the roll past real quick. Give the people something to hold them, as they muddle through life along with us.
Well, the main thing to do is just take care of your health. Go t- get your get your annual appointment with your doctor and watch what you eat. And then keep friendship going. Talk to people and educate the young people.
Yeah.
And everybody needs a job, and keep the job that you have. And I always say always have a plan A, plan B, and a plan C. So if plan A doesn't go through, you go to plan B. And then if that doesn't go through, plan C. Don't get down to the F. Then
Don't get down to the F.
You're in trouble.
Them is the shaky plans down there, ain't they? Plan F.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, man, and I really enjoyed you. And people, be sure to subscribe. Gospel of Robert, GOSPELOF, capital ROBERT. Put the @ in front. Get some notifications. Look at some of the previously posted segments. I got a friend. She's on her way to Dallas now to party with her high school classmates. She said, Rev Bobby, I'll be up at 2 a.m. watching some of these episodes. So, man, look, you take care. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Stay safe yourself.
I'm going to stay safe.
Stay healthy.
And I'm stay healthy. And for all of the viewers that's watching them, from myself and JJ, please journey well from here. Peace.
Okay. Peace.